I have my theory about Chad Daybell. I think he created this whole belief system, and he started getting some attention, and he loved the attention from the ladies, and he tried to use this sort of celebrity that he had, and we're seeing it, and he ends up hooking up with the blonde, Lori Vallow. All right, that's my theory. My guest may or may not agree with me. Let's bring in our think tank tonight. We've got a strong one tonight. There we go. Monica Lindstrom, criminal defense attorney, joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. Also with us, Holly Waltman, great criminal defense attorney in Atlanta. And Jamie White joining us from Michigan. Great to have you all here. Monica, let me start with you. LDS dominates that part of Idaho. We're going to have a trial. Many of those jurors, if not all those jurors, may end up being LDS. What do you think they're going to think about the guy who's part of this offshoot, who believes in zombies and is having an affair and is using his religion to try to make advances to women while he's married to Tammy, who, by the way, unfortunately dies shortly after all of this is happening?
Well, my guess is they're going to look at him and not like him, or I don't know, maybe even hate him, or a strong word like that, because they'll probably see that what he's doing is bringing a very negative context to their religion. They are LDS. They believe in LDS. LDS is a good religion. It doesn't go after zombies. We just heard the professional talk about that. That's not part of the belief system. But Chad Daybell was the one that was casting this light and staying at least true enough to LDS to make it seem, at least in the court of public opinion, that he was similar to LDS, or that's what LDS is, and it's just not. So I think any potential jurors are going to be asked if they are LDS and how they feel about anything they've heard him say, or about the offshoot, or how they feel about offshoots in general. And then for any of the jurors that are on there, good luck trying to get on their good side, not only because we're dealing with dead babies here, a 7-year-old and a 17-year-old, but you're also in a way besmirching the LDS values and ideas.
Holly Waltman, what do you think of my theory about Chad Daybell? He's pretty much kind of nerdy, you know. He's got a bad haircut, he's got the dad jeans, and now all of a sudden he starts writing some of these books. He's got a following, and I've heard descriptions whenever the groups would get together, he'd always be surrounded by a group of ladies. Now he's having affairs, and all of a sudden he hooks up with Lori Vallow. He's trying to get like the cool haircut, and he's starting to dress a little bit better. I mean, to me, at the heart of all of this, that's what this is all about. This has nothing to do with religion, visions, end of the world. He's just trying to get the girl.
That is one theory, Vinny. But what I want to say is the LDS community is going to separate themselves from him. They are going to say, that is not us. That is not what we stand for. That is not our religion. I think that Chad is very persuasive, and sure, he has tried to, increase his odds at being Time Magazine's Father of the Year. Is he there? Absolutely not. Is he ever going to get there? No. But his friends are doing him a great favor, and this is what people aren't talking about quite yet. We're going to be talking about it, and if I'm his defense attorney, I'm already preparing for this. His friends are helping with the mens rea of this crime. Sure, it's passionate. Sure, it is very intimate and serious and really disturbing because it has to do with children. But his friends are helping him. If he doesn't have the mens rea to commit the crime because he is delusionally under the influence of this fake religion, then he can't be, by definition of the law, guilty of the crimes he's accused of.
All right, you want some mens rea? I got some mens rea for you. Jamie, I'm going to let you respond to this one. This is Julie Rowe, again, one of the friends, here describing a conversation she had with Chad Daybell about Tammy Daybell. Now remember, this is while she's alive, but Chad all of a sudden is predicting her future.
Right. I love Tammy. She was amazing. She's still amazing. She is in a beautiful place of light, and she has earned it. It was like the spring or fall of 2017. Chad came to me and said that he had had a vision that Tammy had died in a car accident. 3 weeks before Tammy died, I was on the phone with Chad, and I was prompted to ask him if he still saw Tammy dying, and that's when he said what he did to me. And he always put it in his life plan. It wasn't, I have a plan to kill Tammy. It was my life plan, right? My eternal progression plan. When he said, yes, I don't feel that my plan can go forward until Tammy dies, I waited and I saw Lori's energy. I had a vision of her and Chad, and I saw the physical, Chad's physical body, and then in his space, so like in his aura, was Lori's spirit, and she was attached. And anytime I see an attachment like that, it's a dark attachment. It's unhealthy.
All right, let's get to that mens rea, Jamie. You're talking about someone who has a vision that his wife of 2 decades is going to die. And guess what happens? Someone comes by and takes a shot at her while she's in her driveway, apparently misses, doesn't kill her, but then she dies a week later. Meanwhile, he's already having an affair with his future wife, who he marries 10 days after Tammy dies. And before Tammy died, she already bought the wedding ring. How about that? Is that the mens rea that we need?
Vinny, is this the same wife that had the insurance policy for $400,000 or $500,000? Are we talking about the same person?
Oh, yes.
I thought so. Yeah. Look, this is outrageous. Crazy attracts crazy. And I think it's time that as a legal community, we start to talk about different sorts of standards as it applies to children hanging around in these sorts of environments. I know that we have the First Amendment. I'm not disputing that the majority of the people that participate in this religion are good folks, but they saw these podcasts taking place. They saw these publications. They saw this man drift into a prepper world and carry on the way he was carrying on. So I think it's a little disingenuous for them now as a community to say, this isn't us, when they allowed it to take place. We've seen the Jim Jones, we've seen the David Koreshes, we've seen the doomsday cults. We see people who won't treat their children because God tells them not to. And, this case is really unfortunate. Somebody could have stepped in. You start talking about zombies, and then the next day you're talking about ridding the world of zombies. And then in that same week, you're talking about your children are zombies. Somebody should have rang that bell. The idea that this man was a prophet to his wife's death. Well, maybe he was, but the whole thing, quite frankly, is outrageous.
All right, when we come back, we're going to switch gears. All right, last word. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say that Holly has a really good point, but I want you to think about this. We all think he's crazy because he's talking about zombies and all these strange things and him being this wonderful light. But is that enough for people to think that he mentally was incapable or didn't have the mens rea? So that's just something for us to all think about, because I think Holly is dead on with what she's saying about his friends.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to talk about a case out of Georgia involving Rayshard Brooks. Tasers, really a huge, huge issue in that case. And the question is, are tasers deadly weapons or non-lethal weapons? We answer that question when we come back.